Hey, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor Live on SIFTD.net. Starting to get cool outside, so I switched from short sleeve to long sleeve. We very much appreciate any of you who have been so generous as to support us on Patreon or as a YouTube subscriber. That keeps Shane going, so thank you very much. It's super generous of you. If you are doing that or not, if you're not especially, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That is a freebie for you. It's part of your Amazon Prime annual dues. They don't charge you anything, and they pay Shane each time you remember to link those two accounts. So you've got to do it every month. Check out the instructions on how to do so in the show description below. If you do that, you are making Amazon pay Shane, and it costs you nothing. You've already paid for it, in other words. So take advantage of it. Take advantage of Amazon. That stock is at an all-time high. They are minting money off of your Prime membership. So take advantage of them and stick it to them. Get them to give Shane a little bit of money. Let's get on to today's question, which is really all about GTA and what's going on with the latest delay. GTA, as you know, hasn't been out since September of 2013. It wasn't actually technically delayed until they said 2025 last year, and so people assumed it was coming out this calendar year, but they never dated it. And then, of course, as they got closer to 2025, I think it might have been January, they dated it May of 2026. So they slipped out of the year completely, and now we're in November. They delayed it yet again. They're going to bring it out in November of 2026. So another 6-month delay. What's going on? First one 01, next one 02 took a year. Next one 04 took 2 years. Next one 08 took 3.5 years. Next one 13 took 5.5 years. And what happened there? It's logarithmic. Logarithmic means each gap gets bigger than the one before. It's going to be a 13-year development cycle with very likely 1,200 people, maybe 1,400 people working on it. What happened? I don't want to bash Strauss Zelnick because he is only as good as the information that he's given. And in fairness to him, he doesn't commit to dates unless the studio tells him it's coming on that date. So Strauss's deal with the Rockstar guys is, I will not put pressure on you. You have an unlimited budget. You put this game out when it's ready. Just tell me a year ahead of time, when is it going to be ready? And they told him in spring of 2025, it's coming out in May of 2026. So he had warning. He was told by them. I guarantee they told him. And he committed. He's told everybody who would listen, that is a firm date. And so we all actually believed it. And what happened? Was it a leak? Was it unionization? Was it something broken in the game? Was it whim and caprice and they decided to do something more in the game? I would say all of the above. My guess is that game is so ambitious that they are finding things that they don't like about it and they're fixing it. And they realized that they could ship a game that would not get a 97 or 98 universal, Metacritic review. They're not willing to settle for that. They want the highest rated game of all time. And they came back to Strauss and said, we need 6 more months. Now they're back to their window, November 19th, that's before Thanksgiving. I think this is very superstitious for them. They like being right in front of Thanksgiving. What does it mean for the rest of the industry? Everybody was kind of getting out of their way in May. But I saw something pointed out on the internet that there's a giant, ambitious release schedule from other companies, April, May, and June. So there's lots of games coming out, and Battlefield obviously pulled forward to get away from GTA. But they're going to launch in the fall, and now everybody's going to dive out of the way for November of 26. There are a lot of games that won't. So I would say anything from Nintendo, no. Like they aren't competing with GTA. We can argue about whether a Switch 2 owner also has a PlayStation, Xbox, or PC and is going to play GTA. Of course, lots of them do, and of course, lots of them will. But Nintendo titles don't compete head-to-head. And, will it affect sales because of wallet share? Sure, especially if it's $100. If GTA sucks 50 million units at $100, $5 billion out of the game's ecosystem, that's literally like half of console game sales for the year, all in one game, all in one quarter. So for sure, that's going to impact people's ability to buy other games. And so the guys who are kind of Me Too, the Steam type titles, if anything, I think PC games probably benefit a little bit because GTA is highly unlikely to be available on PC the same day as console. So Steam probably not impacted. PlayStation and Xbox games absolutely impacted. They will sell fewer units and it will make a launch less dazzling. Even if they're not, shooter games or core RPG games. I mean, even if they're puzzle games, the wallet share from GTA is going to impact everything. Not Nintendo so much, because Nintendo, they can put out a Super Mario Brothers or a Zelda game and it's just going to sell steady forever. And I think they're less concerned whether they sell 10 million the first month or 8 million the first month, because they're going to get all their unit sales over the lifetime. So no impact on Nintendo. Yes, impact on Sony. Yes, impact on Microsoft. And Microsoft has pretty much given up on the console anyway. So I expect by November of 26, which is literally a full year from now, we're going to see new models of Game Pass. And, you might even get Microsoft to do something like, hey, if you're a Game Pass member, you can play the first 10 levels of GTA 6 on Game Pass, and then it stops, but it's free, just as a teaser to get even more people to buy it. So, don't rule out creative, innovative ways to take advantage of the GTA launch on both sides, for Take-Two to take advantage of Microsoft and Microsoft to take advantage of Take-Two. I could see Take-Two, telling Microsoft, if you give us $5 for each person who accesses the first 10 levels of the game, we'll do it. And then you're going to get a whole bunch of people who maybe aren't sure they want to buy GTA, but they'll try it on Game Pass, and that, for $5, what the hell? And it won't cost them anything. So let's see how creative all these guys get. But yes, this game is going to be the biggest launch of all time. It is going to get in the way of everything. It is going to suck all the oxygen out of the room. And the one company I think that's relatively immune to it is Nintendo, because it's just a different category of gamers and games. And again, Switch owners, there's a massive overlap between Switch owners and PlayStation and Xbox owners. And of course, a lot of those people are going to buy GTA, but they're also going to buy a Mario title. So I don't see a big impact on Nintendo. I do see an impact on everybody else. The concept that GTA is kind of reflective of pop culture and has a satirical take on what's going on in the world. I don't think that there's very much that's changed in the world, in the last 6 months that would cause them to have to rewrite the game. But that extra 6 months allows them to put in some new satire, perhaps on, ICE raids and people fighting back against ICE and sandwich throwers and things that are more topical and fun. So, I could see them incorporating like a mini game of, throw a sandwich at an ICE officer or something and be funny. And, the setting in Florida, lots and lots of immigrants in Florida. So I did read yesterday somebody saying that the game was delayed because they wanted to get more ICE officers in the game, and I'm not sure if that's accurate, but it's funny and probably true. So the only development I can think of in the last six months is ICE and militarization of cities for police support, which is patently illegal, and we'll see if the courts end up ruling that. But so again, I think tariffs is too complicated to put in a game, but ICE, I think they can. So yes, I do expect that they're going to rework that, and that actually could be the reason for the delay, that they want to make a more pointed statement about what the Rockstar creators think about ICE, and my guess is it's not pretty, and good for them. There's a vast group of voters who are just uninformed And if they get their information from Grand Theft Auto, more power to them. So I think Grand Theft Auto actually serves a civic purpose by making players aware of topical issues, global issues. And, again, I wouldn't be surprised if they have drones bombing drug running boats. Maybe that's part of one of the missions is they're going to change it to where you have to avoid the drones. Again, topical and interesting, and I could see them making a statement about that. So yes, I think that the satirical bent of GTA in general is probably something that they're trying to preserve and make sure that they aren't stale and that they're topical and they're addressing real current, world issues, or at least U.S. issues. Does it impact Take-Two earnings? Not really. Their fiscal year starts April 1st, 2026 and ends March 31st, 2027. The game was going to come out in that window and is still coming out in that window. Will it happen again? It's anybody's guess. This is beyond the game's not finished. The game will never be finished. They're just adding something or tweaking something that they didn't think was perfect. And 6 months is a long time. So my guess is this is really just refinement and testing and making sure. And my guess is the game is the most ambitious game ever. I'm going to stick with my $100 price point. I truly think that's what they're going to charge for the game. And, keep in mind that I said there's 1,200 people working on it for 13 years. This is $1.5 billion of investment. The game has to be perfect. Now, is it going to sell more than $1.5 billion? Sure. It's going to sell 50 million at $100. So they're going to get 5 billion back pretty quick. It'll sell another, 30 million at $70, and it'll sell another 50 million at, 20 or $30. So they're going to be fine. So again, not great that GTA was delayed again. Surprised me because I have confidence in Strauss. I think Strauss is a very measured, honorable guy, and you really do believe Strauss when he tells you he knows it's coming. And he said that because he was told by Sam Houser it's coming, and Sam changed his mind. And Sam's allowed to. Better to put a game out late that's great than a game out early that's not. Too much is at stake for this thing not to be the best game of all time. And again, if it really is the best game of all time, they can get away with charging $100. Bottom line, it's going to impact other competitive games. It's not going to impact Take-Two earnings at all. It's sad that they committed and they picked the date and they delayed. Everybody's got to wait. Everybody else is hurt except Nintendo. And we'll see how the release schedule for the fall of 26 evolves now that everybody knows they have to get away from the juggernaut. We definitely appreciate our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers. You are keeping Shane, able to continue to produce this show. So thank you very much. If you are a subscriber or not, please try to remember to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. That is free for you. Amazon pays us. It costs you absolutely nothing, but you have to re-up it every month. So check out the instructions on how to do so in the show description below. Link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account, and Shane gets paid. I appreciate all of your following me over the years, fellow babies. Thank you for joining us on Pachter Factor Live. We will see you next week.